Hello and welcome to Morning Fuel. I'm your host, John Bundy, and you are here because you believe in the power of the spoken word and its ability to change lives, and that by sharing our stories, we can help others overcome challenges that they cannot overcome on their own. Whether it's a victory that you need to win in business or in your own personal life, you understand the answers can be found in listening to others who are willing to share their stories, knowing that their story ultimately doesn't belong to them. All right, today's guest on the Morning Fuel podcast brings a unique blend of tech savvy and rodeo grit to the table. A dynamic professional, owner of Finish Green, where she and her team specialize in crafting custom CRM solutions tailored to a wide variety of industries. But her story doesn't just revolve around technology. It's deeply rooted in the adventurous world of rodeo. Growing up in the rodeo circuit, she not only developed a passion for the sport, but also embraced the discipline and resilience it teaches. This background has profoundly influenced her approach to business, where she blends traditional values of hard work and perseverance with innovative tech solutions. Today, she continues to live this dual lifestyle to the fullest, traveling every week with her husband and kids to participate in rodeo events. This family affair not only keeps the rodeo tradition alive, but also strengthens their bond as they traverse together the thrilling and challenging world of this time-honored sport. As we delve into our conversation, we'll explore how she manages to juggle her professional responsibilities at Finish Green with her personal passion for rodeo, and how this unique combination shapes her approach to business and life. Please help me in extending a warm Morning Fuel podcast welcome to Alie Murphy, a trailblazer who seamlessly marries the worlds of technology and rodeo. Good to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. The long trek from New Kent, New Kent, with dyslexic maps. All right. Well, Alie, we love origin stories here. How in the world did you move from rodeo to CRM? It doesn't seem to me to go together.
I get this question a lot.
Well, it's a good question.
I probably about 10 years ago now, I had some health problems and I wasn't able to train horses anymore. I was also in the corporate world. And so I was never released back to work. And I worked for my husband for a while. I did a lot of ops for him, and I worked in a lot of these platforms that had a lot of gaps to them, which I think all of us can relate to, right?
Oh, sure.
And the biggest one for me was support. So one day I just said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to build it out myself and provide this for people because I know the importance of it.
So what kind of technical knowledge did you have to even start a CRM company?
Not much. I had background of operations management. And so I really hired around that. I knew how to build a team and I knew what my team needed to look like. So I found the right people and put them in the right seats.
How big is your team right now?
22.
22. And you've been running this company since when?
Like 6 years ago. Not today. This year is 6 years.
What was COVID like in the middle of all this?
COVID did not really affect me because everything I do is virtual.
Okay.
So
you weren't like getting Zoom poisoning like most of us.
No.
You already were there already. You
I'm
already
good
had an
with the
immunity.
Zoom. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And is that the platform you use? Do you use Zoom or do you use something else?
I do. Our whole Zoom support is built out through the platform, and we have 55 rooms. So anybody who wants to add new things on their CRM, they just hop in our Zoom support.
Okay. What does CRM stand for?
Customer Relationship Management Platform.
Now, who needs that?
Anyone who has a business that can afford to level up.
Okay. All right, because we're looking at leveling up. Not only are we going to run the podcast, but we're also going to run a restaurant. We're also going to run an exclusive, all-inclusive, land-based cruise-like experience community in Puerto Rico. So we're going to need a lot of that sort of thing. So you mentioned organization. Is that pretty much what CRM helps a company do? Kind of organize all of the ins and outs of dealing with people virtually, or is it also in person?
So a lot of people look at CRMs as a marketing tool, which is accurate. But when we build them out, we want you to be able to manage your business with it, not just your marketing. The marketing is a great addition, but it also helps you manage your current clients, your potential clients, your past clients, and your project management and team management.
Now, I've worked a little bit with CRM at a previous company that I worked for, and we were doing marketing and advertising for other companies. And mainly the chore, and I have to say chore, the chore that I had was setting up email campaigns. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of drag and drop, a little plug and play, a little this, then that. But man, it was a pain in the butt. Mm-hmm. And that's not all that CRM does.
Right.
Does it also manage your reputation? Is that part of it, reputation management?
Yes.
Okay.
So we, when we set the CRM up for these businesses, we actually build an automation out for the reputation management. What reputation management is getting reviews on your Google My Business, or just reviews in a form to be able to post on your social media or wherever
right.
you're marketing.
So when I think of reputation management, I guess simply I need the cookies on the bottom shelf where I can understand it. And how I would explain it to a client is, if somebody visits your Google My Business page and they see that you have 1.9 stars, you need to start there. You don't want to start making a noise on social media and your website, sending them to your Google My Business page because they're looking for you. They're not going to do business with you if you don't start with your reputation management. So do you have, and now I did get to work with that a little bit, and I learned a lot, and I was able to move the needle on their reputation because there were some bogus claims on there, and you could dispute those. But are there any other things that you can do when it comes to reputation to help a client get better, have a better reputation? Because a name is everything.
I agree. So what we promote first is we actually set up review forms. And so you have that review there. If it's a review that maybe someone wasn't super happy with what you did, or maybe they were really happy, but they didn't word it as if they were really happy.
Sure.
We take those obviously for training purposes, but we use the form for that reason. So if they are saying things that maybe you don't really want on Google, you can take that, talk to your team about it and move on. The form also, they can tell you something great. You use that for your social media marketing and your website. And then, so if your Google reviews are not set up yet, or you maybe only have a couple, you have those reviews on your website as well. So instead of sending them to Google, send them to your website, and then you have other reviews on there.
Right. So, and then also it's percentages, right? So say you have 10 reviews, 5 of them are bad, right?
Yep.
And then you get a pile more, so you're collecting reviews, and then you get 1,000 reviews, but you only have maybe 10 bad reviews. Your stars are going to be more. You're going to look better online. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So I do have a basic understanding of that. I want to talk about rodeo.
Okay.
How long have you been doing that? Did you grow up in a rodeo family?
So my dad used to train racehorses, so I think it was kind of in my blood. And so when I was
daddy's girl, you wanted to hang around your dad?
I did. I loved being around Dad.
I've got one of those at home too.
Yeah, I loved being around Dad.
Yeah.
And so when I was 5, he got me a horse. She wasn't trained. And we trained it together. And I say that a little loosely because at the time we really couldn't afford a saddle. We couldn't afford a bridle.
Right.
So we did it in a halter and bale and twine and
so
in a big
to the horse?
Open field. Those were my reins.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And looking back, I will tell you this. In the moment of all that, I remember it so well. In those moments, I never thought it was scary.
Sure.
I never thought it was weird.
You had every girl's dream. Every girl wanted to say, Daddy, give me a horse. And then your dad gave you a horse.
That's all. That's it. That's the happiest moment, right?
Right?
And I never saw it as we didn't have the money. I never saw it as anything else but amazing. Like, I get to do this.
There's only one thing I think would make a girl happier than getting a horse, is that if that horse was a unicorn, then it would be like just I could die now. And
yep,
then,
exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And then how long did you ride, and what sort of stuff do you do in a rodeo circuit? I'm not very familiar.
So I've ridden ever since then, my whole life, basically. And right now I barrel race and rope. breakaway.
Bale race is going around the
barrel. So there's three barrels. Yep.
Okay.
It's called
You said barrel. I thought you said bale.
It's called cloverleaf barrel pattern.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I break away. And so my kids do the same. They barrel race and break away. And then my husband team ropes. But like I said, we don't have that much time.
Do you have any rodeo clowns in your family?
We do not.
Do you have anybody that probably would make a good rodeo clown in your family?
I'm sure we do. Yep.
You can think of an uncle or a cousin or something like that.
Yep.
Would be...
Sometimes my dad, actually.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Wow. So, I would say that's brave. I mean, you've got a level of bravery, and you may not see it like that as a little girl that just, the horse is wonderful. It's just part of what I do now. The horse is an extension of me. That's something that not many people will ever get to do. And then probably even less people will want to do that. They'd be afraid to do something like that. But you and your family just get up on horses.
Yeah. I mean, I think like I said, when I was 5 years old, I didn't know to be scared.
Sure.
Had no idea. When I was falling off, my dad would say, "Oh, right, you did great." And
right. Get back
never
up. Brush yourself off.
Never thought it was anything wrong with it.
Did you ever get hurt?
Well, later on in life, I did. Yes,
you did.
Mm-hmm. I fractured my tailbone.
Oh God! What did you land on? Did you get kicked?
No, I got bucked off when I was roping, and then I had my front teeth knocked out.
Golly!
But I mean, it could be so much worse.
You get back.
I mean, I've ridden a lot to only have those two injuries.
Literally get back on the horse.
Yeah.
Wow. Where do you go from here with that? I mean, is it just kind of a fun thing you do now, or are you competing?
So as the girls, my oldest graduated this year, and so our goal is to rodeo with them, but also our immediate goal is to let them live their dreams also. Sure. And so right now, our rodeo has been put aside for us to be able to travel with them and let them reach their goals.
So they're looking at other options now.
They want a rodeo.
Oh, they want. Oh, that's fantastic.
And so my husband does real estate investing.
Okay.
And so my oldest, I think, is going to actually do some of that with them. So with him, so she can rodeo.
Would your husband be interested in real estate investing in Puerto Rico?
Actually, I was just talking about that
earlier. We'll would like to talk.
Awesome,
we'll talk. We'll talk more about that. I've got a buddy coming over actually tomorrow. He knows I'm leaving on Thursday, and he is a real estate investor, and he's also looking. He's got investors lined up for the projects we're working on down there. We're going to be doing a lot of house flipping. They're concrete homes down there. They pretty much just need some TLC, a little pressure washing and paint, and then they're beautiful.
That is awesome.
Little boutique hotels and Airbnbs and stuff like that.
I love that.
That's what we're looking at, and other things. Yeah, and I'll show you some pictures of some of the houses that we're going to build too.
I wonder if I know your friend, because we used to run the Williamsburg
Well, you
real
do know
estate.
my friend.
I do.
Yeah, you came to the stinking 212 with him.
Oh.
He's got my beard wants to grow up to be like his beard.
Oh,
Matt Conti.
Matt. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so he and I are going to sit on the back deck tomorrow and just get organized.
I love that.
Yeah, he's been working. He's been Uber driving, and then when he charges his vehicle, he's working on Casita Maricao. So yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay. I had him on. He was a couple 5 guests ago.
That's cool.
So yeah, cool
that's
stuff.
Cool.
All right, well. We're at the portion of the show that I affectionately call the What the Fail. So the WTF of the show. Mm-hmm. Each one of us has had some sort of something happen in our life, whether it's in business or personal, that could perhaps have taken us out of life or taken us out of business or changed our trajectory for better or for worse. Mm-hmm. So what the fail moment could you share with us that possibly somebody else is dealing with right now and think they're alone, but they're not? I know this is probably going to sound like a infomercial or something like that, but are you a busy entrepreneur or business owner who has very little time to plan their travels when it comes to taking their families on a vacation? And by the time you get there, you are super exhausted and you don't want to have to think about anything. You just want to enjoy. Well, welcome to Experience Rest, Rincon, Puerto Rico. Let me break it down for you. You come down here, you stay with Sarah and I in one of the many homes that we get access to. We take care of you. We take care of the planning based on your needs. The itinerary is built based on your choices before you even get here. And when you arrive, we pick you up at the airport. We take you to your home for the 2 weeks that you're here, and you don't have to make any decisions. You just show up. You just wake up, enjoy your coffee, enjoy your breakfast, and we make the decisions for you based on your choices. Sarah and I will be your guides. And also, we'll take care of the things at the house as well. The cleaning, the cooking. I worked under a James Beard nominated chef at Stove in Port Norfolk, Virginia. And I've got a little bit of skill, but I guarantee you, you will be blessed with genuine Puerto Rican cuisine and gracious hosts and guides. And we'll take you on tours based on your preferences as well. If you're the adventurous type, we'll go ahead and take you to swim in a waterfall that's a short hike away. And also paddleboarding or surfing, even for the first time. We look forward to having you down. If you have any questions at any time, please don't hesitate to reach out. CasitaMaricao.com or Experience Rest. Thanks for being a part of the community, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
I have a big fail in both personal and business. So I'll let you pick which one, personal or business.
Well, you can do both. We've got plenty of time. We've only been doing this for 20 minutes so far.
So real quick, my personal is in 2017, I started feeling like I had arthritis in my neck. And I went to the doctor a couple times. They said, I think you're having atypical migraines. And I said, okay. We just kept moving on with it. It was on muscle relaxers. And come to find out, I have Chiari. And it's when your brain, tonsils of your brain, fall between your spinal column. And so it had gotten pretty severe at that point.
The tonsils of your brain are the lower portion
it's what holds your brain up.
Got you.
And so it had gotten pretty severe at that point by the time we found out. My husband was fully taking care of me. I couldn't be up for more than an hour.
Wow.
I couldn't do anything with my hands. He had to cut my food up. He had to carry things for me.
What a great guy.
Oh, he was amazing. And so I had surgery. I ended up having brain surgery. I had to go to New York for that. And I had prepared to die because it was a very dangerous surgery, but I did not prepare to live.
Right.
And so for me...
So you pretty much did check out. You figured I'm not coming out of this.
And I felt great about it, to be honest. And I know that sounds crazy.
No, it's very interesting.
But it was very peaceful for me. I was the exact person I wanted to be. I had everything I had ever wanted in my whole life.
How many children did you have at this point?
I have 2, and they're not actually my biological kids.
Okay.
They are mine, though. Like they're my kids. But
they're adopted or your husband's children?
They're my husband's, yep.
Okay.
So, anyway, so I had everything I ever wanted and dreamed about. And so I was okay with it. I was ready. And so when I survived it, it was probably the hardest thing I ever dealt with in life. Because I also lost a couple years of memory. I could not do anything on my left side. There was a lot of things I had to work through.
Sure.
And I had to become a whole new person because I could barely remember who anybody was around me.
Now, you weren't running the CRM company at this time. This was pre that. Okay.
I wasn't. And so I had been doing some things with some different platforms, but I hadn't technically started the CRM.
Okay.
And then, so I, that's what kind of got me into my husband and I was working for him, slowly, moved into that. So then my business fail, I will say, is with my CRM grew really fast in the beginning, which I think happens a lot with businesses sometimes. It grows really fast and then it stops. And I had overhired and it almost took my business out.
Oh, sure. Because then you still have to pay and then the money's not coming in. Okay, wow.
So
when was this?
Probably about 4 years ago.
Okay. So 2020-ish?
Well, I say 4 years ago is when I recognized that we are... Yeah,
gotcha.
This was a problem. Yeah, and so when that happened, I felt so bad. I didn't want to get rid of anyone. It was so painful.
Sure.
But I had to come to the realization that it was going to be more painful for them to stay and not get paid.
Sure.
So I gave them the option. I said, "Listen, I don't know when you're going to get paid again." Right. I gave them the option. And
did any of them stick around?
Most of them.
That's great. That says a lot about you and the company.
Some of them did leave, and I love them for that because
Sure.
you have to take care of your family. And we still all stay in contact.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for sharing that. Now, it's amazing the connections that are made when people sit down and finally talk and find the commonalities. I had a similar experience that you had. I had headaches that were causing me to get sick, and for years, and they didn't know what it was. And I went in and they finally did a CAT scan, and they found what they thought was a clot in my brain. And then I went in for an MRI, and they found that it was a tumor, a subependymoma back in the area where the blood flows in and out of your brain. And they gave me the similar diagnosis. It was a 100% chance if you don't get the tumor removed, you're going to die. Lights out. The tumor is going to grow and block the blood completely. 50-50 chance you're going to make it off the table. And 80% chance you're going to come out with some form of disability, which to my wife says is still debatable. But I had a piece going into it that I probably should not have had. It was a piece that made no sense. And when I came out of it, it was hard. It was hard. I couldn't sleep. They said I couldn't lay down for like 2 months. I had to sit up, and I couldn't sleep. So I stayed up. I was going insane. I stayed up because I couldn't sleep sitting up, and I would just write, and it was kind of an insane time. And then for several years after that, I had some weird symptoms and things like that. That was pretty.
I can relate.
Pretty wild. Okay. Morning Fuel podcast was born out of adversity. It was born out of a severe anxiety and depression spiral that I went into after I lost a couple of jobs and imagined my family homeless every day, and I didn't know what to do. What brought me out of that was a morning routine. I had listened to books, I was praying, and I put together this morning routine that when I do it, it sets me up for the day. And I continue to do that, and that's the fuel that gets me through. My faith and this morning routine gets me through the day. Do you have a morning fuel, or what is the fuel that, when you get up in the morning, causes you to perhaps not hit the snooze bar and look forward to the day, no matter how challenging it's going to be? So
it still takes me a while to get to sleep at night.
Okay.
But to wake up in the morning, I have a hard time because it takes me a long time to get sleep.
Sure.
And I refuse to take medication for that. And so when I do get up, which is usually about 7 o'clock, what really gets me out of bed is I love to take my daughter to school.
Okay.
I love that. The bus can pick her up at the driveway.
Right.
But I love to take her to school.
Well, how old is she?
She'll be 13 in just a couple of days.
Yeah. That's funny because that's one of the things I missed when my daughter graduated. I was driving her to school when she was a senior, and it was the talk that we had waiting in the parent loop, that little 5-minute conversation. That's fantastic. I love that. That's great. Well, before I ask my last question, how can folks reach out to you to either learn more about Rodeo or to get involved with the wonderful Finish Green CRM?
So my website is www.finishgreen.com. You can always go on there, and my email is on there, but also you can book a call with me as well.
Okay. Now, what does Finish Green mean? Does it have any meaning to it?
It sure does. Everyone wants to finish in the green.
I like it. Cool. All right. Alie Murphy of Finish Green and the Rodeo circuit. What do you need most right now?
So my goal this year was to get out and network in person because I'm an introvert. Right. And getting outside my comfort zone, just like all of us, is really hard. And that is the hardest thing for me to do.
Okay.
So I have made a goal to go to as many networking events as I can this year.
And you're crushing it, too. You've probably been more networking events in 2 months than I've been in a year.
Well, it's my goal.
Hey.
But last year, I couldn't have, at all taken that from you.
Right.
But I really just want to find people that I can add value to. That is my goal this whole year. I feel like for me to have gotten where I'm at today, I didn't do it alone. I had people loving me through that. I had people lifting me up, encouraging me, pushing me, questioning me. I had all of that, and I want to give that back.
Fantastic. And have you joined 212 yet, or are you officially a part of a networking organization yet?
So I am joining 212, but
Great people.
in order for me to get through my goal of visiting them all, the 212 I'm joining is on a Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot on Thursdays. So I got to get through those at the same time as the group. The group I'm joining is right down the road from me.
Yeah, in New Kent at the golf club, right?
There's one in New Kent and there was one in Sanston.
Okay.
And I'm about in the middle.
Okay, gotcha.
And so anyways, it's Thursday mornings they're all at the same time. So I want to get through those and before I commit to showing up every week for them.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool. Alie, really great to meet you.
Yeah, thank
Look
you.
forward to hearing more and sharing about investing in real estate and stuff like that. Lots of fun. Cool. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.